knows how to draw a stick figure, and honestly, this isn't too wrong. People will say, oh, I don't know how to draw a stick figure and stuff. Don't do that. You do. You're not being humble. It's annoying. Just draw a stick figure. You're going to want to change a few things, though. Draw the head and the body as you normally would. Then, instead of this T shape, you're going to be making an upside down U or an N. And for the legs, you're going to be making a similar shape. You're going to bring it up just a little bit. Your stick figure should look a little bit something like this now. Now we're going to make this even more complex. You're going to draw the head and the body as normal. Nothing has changed. But now you're going to make this look like an arrow. If that makes any sense. And you're going to draw the arms with 2 lines instead of 1 now. The same thing goes with the legs. It should look kind of like a furry at this point, but we'll fix that. Oh my...
Hello, this is me reminding you. Part 2 is here. Now this is kind of where we last left off. The only thing I added were some triangle shapes for the feet and some blobby shapes for the hands. And that's it. From here, we're going to take down this body one part at a time. Today we're focusing on the head and shoulders, just kind of chest area. People were asking, I use Procreate on the 7th gen iPad, and I sketch with the 6B pencil. You're gonna start with a circle. It doesn't really matter how big it is. And then you're gonna bring a line down and make a curved line across. And you're gonna bring this down to form the chest area here. I like to draw a line down, and I draw the chin, and I draw the line where I put the eyes. I like to make these 2 lines that represent the muscles in the neck that come down a little bit here. And then I just draw the collarbone. From the end of the collarbone, we can start to draw the shoulder, and there you have it.
Any part that you see that's in red has already been covered in a video, and today we aren't actually focusing on anything that is on the body per se. We're going to be focusing on hair, since you guys wanted to see that. Hair is a pretty difficult thing to cover because it's completely reliant on the style that you're trying to go for. Hair can be used to add a significant silhouette to a character, or it can just sort of be there. Either way, I'll just show you how I draw hair, and first I always start with a hairline. Usually that comes up towards here and comes down towards the ear. From here, since her head is tilted a certain way, I'm going to have her hair coming out a little bit this way. Her hair comes a little bit in the front over her shoulder. Hair does have weight, so it'll come down and slightly curve over like that. I add strands where the curves are more dramatic, and that's how I draw straight hair. Post another video covering curly hair and other types. Hello there, and welcome back. Anything that you see in red has already been covered in a video, so go on my page and check that out, or not. Today we're tackling arms and hands and the such. Even though hands are more suggested, I'm just going to focus on the forearm part of the arm for this video. The forearm is composed of 3 main shapes. You have the shoulder and the muscle that goes along with it, and then these are broken down into 2 main shapes. They are muscles, I just don't know the names of them. It's important to know how the muscles of the forearm flow together to make it more realistic. However, how much muscle that you have in the body does affect how it looks. I normally start with a circle, and then draw a line as to where the beginning of the forearm is going to go. Then I come around, say this is the top, and this comes down and makes almost a teardrop shape. And then I come down. There isn't really a big muscle on the top, but there is a muscle on the bottom that comes down like that. Hello there. Alright everyone. Everything that you see in red has been covered in a separate video on my page, so go and find that if you wanna. And today we are going to be focusing on the forearms. The actual forearms this time, not the upper arms. I'm dumb. So we've already covered the arm up until about here. And the forearm is a pretty simple structure. These are how the bones are laid out. There's actually 2 bones in your forearm that cross over each other when you turn your forearm certain ways. The actual muscles of the forearm are actually a little bit more complicated, but to get the general shape, it's pretty easy. This is the upper arm, we covered that in our last video. And from here, we're just going to sort of overlap. And you're gonna make a big round shape on the top and an almost flat shape on the bottom that curves slightly towards the end. And that's pretty much it. Of course, the shape varies depending on the position, but overall, in a more cartoony style, this is how you would do it. Alright.
Hello everyone! Everything that you see in red has already been covered in a video, so go on my page, check that out. And today we are focusing on le body, as per somebody's request. Now the torso is interesting because it is an incredibly complicated shape, but can be broken down into generally very simplified shapes depending on what exactly you're trying to draw. Today I'll be focusing on the difference between male anatomy and female anatomy for the most part, although in reality we aren't that different. Now you can see in red I've outlined some shapes here, and these shapes I like to call the chalice and the hourglass. For most of you have heard of the hourglass, not many have heard of the chalice. Most people will break down a man's torso into this tortilla-ass looking shape, but that's not very useful. It usually ends up looking like this. When you use the chalice, however, this gives the man hips, because men have hips. There's also no severe elongation of the body. Female anatomy is next. Hello